Hi, I'm Casey Marshall with the Education Department here at Historic Arkansas Museum, here to teach you a fun, easy, inexpensive project that you can either do at home or in your classroom. So this is basic kites. This is meant to be something very, very easy, something I've done for years and years with kids, and it's an easy project that takes very, very limited materials. So as long as you have 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, maybe some skewers, ribbon, and string, you can just about do this entire thing by yourself. So especially if you're doing with a large group of students, you have all this in the teacher's lounge. So let's talk about kites. Kites have been around forever. So it's basically catching the wind and getting them to haul off your item. So I'm going to use yellow because I like yellow. You start off with your 8.5 sheet by 11, or 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Fold it in half, hamburger style, as my teachers used to say. And then here's where, if you really want to get scientific, you don't have to be this precise. But I like to go in an inch at one end and mark it with my pencil. And down at the bottom, make note, here's the crease. 1 inch in, and then 2 1/4 inches, but it doesn't have to be exact, on the other end. All I'm doing is making 2 little pencil marks, but that gives me something to shoot for when I fold it in half. So I'm going from that dot down to the other dot that I made. And it's the starts you're gonna have, if you do this with students, they're all gonna say it's the start of a paper airplane. But we're not going for airplane, although we are trying to fly. So do it one way, crease it nice and good. Make the other side match, put those 2 corners together. And crease. Now here's where you want to stop for 1 second. When it comes to a kite, you want it to be as lightweight as possible. You want it to catch wind, but you want to keep it nice and airy. Now when a kite is flying, you can already see that shape kind of take place. You want the bottom to hang down. So real quick, before we officially close that up, I'm going to cut a couple pieces of ribbon. You can make these as long or as short as you want. I'm going to do, but these will give me a tail. That's all it's going to do. Now, you notice I'm not measuring. I'm really just taking it randomly and getting 3 pieces. Okay? So I have 3 pieces for a tail. And that'll give me something that will pull down at that bottom, okay? Take my pieces, and then back down in here. I want to tape them to the inside. So before it's all officially closed up, take my tape and tape it in. And this is why I said hold on, because you want this to be lightweight. I know in last year this time I was doing a project on this and I used painter's tape, and painter's tape is good, but it's kind of heavy, and you want your kite to be as lightweight as possible. So now I've got my tail sticking out, and I take these, and here's where your skewers come in. You're going to be making the spine. This is pretty flimsy right now, so what you want to do is take your skewer, measure relatively how far it is from point to point, and cut that off. Careful with the scissors, kids. Ta-da! And I'm going from point to point, so take my tape again, and I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to hit a couple of spots. That makes sense. I'm going to put 1 near the middle. I'm actually going to put 2 near the middle. And 1 towards each tip. And just because I didn't give myself a lot of wiggle room, I'm going to turn it that way. Okay. Kind of almost went across, but this is relatively still itself. I'm going to throw a piece of tape right here just because I want that to stay shut. And here's where, if you're doing this in a classroom, you can have a lot of fun. You can start writing all sorts of stuff. You can draw funny pictures. Let's see, I'm just going to write Welcome to second Friday art night. But you can get as fun and imaginative as that as you want. GRC, we have a kite. Now, paper is pretty flimsy, so one last recommendation. When you go to put in your string, put a piece of tape on your sheet of paper, right there, and punch a hole through the tape. Then, when you attach your string, find the lightest string you can. Thread doesn't always work so great, it can sometimes snap. This is actually a little bit thicker than I want, but some sort of small string. And when you go to tie it on, another tip I've learned after doing this so many times, don't just start a knot and then tie it down as hard as you can. You're trying not to destroy the hole you just made. So start a knot and then finish the knot where it's just barely on there. It's not going to come out, it's not going to hurt anything, but there's still a little gap right there. I'm going to clip away the excess, and I have a kite. I'm ready to go fly it. Now, the wind was blowing when we came in just a moment ago, so I'm going to try and see if I can get it to run. Please don't make fun of me for running, but we'll see if we can get our kite to fly. Are you ready? Uh-oh, starting to sprinkle. Hold on. Well, as the rain hits, the wind stops. So, lucky flying. Hopefully if you start this in your own classroom, you're going to see I'm starting to get some raindrops on my kite, so we better hurry up and get inside. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for coming to see us.